Just a terrific win for our team, especially battling a little bit of adversity with some fouls, and really great to see our bench in the first half just kind of keep us going. We got some good minutes out of young players that really helped us inside while Eli and Amir were in foul trouble. I thought David Scar was outstanding in the first half, and a lot was asked of he and Shelton. And then obviously a big factor for us was having Marquise Reed back. Marquise Reed is just a super talented player, scorer, that takes a lot of pressure off our team. I thought we did some good things in the game to help him, and he certainly played the game with a lot of confidence. He and Shelton Mitchell, two older guards, I think showed their experience. A lot of credit to South Carolina, Frank. Just they're dealing with a lot. I mean, we dealt with it with Marquise for 3 games, but when they've got 3 and 4 guys over there hurt that are good players, you know, it's just hard. It is just really hard. And those kids on their team just kept competing and coming at us. Certainly, they had us on our heels late. We're having trouble keeping them off the glass. They were just playing so hard, and you know, we were fortunate that they didn't shoot the ball very well from 3 tonight, and you know, we were able to kind of get out of here with a very hard-fought win against a team that's always hard to play against. Questions?
Brad, when did you know Marquise was going to play?
Thought he probably would on Friday. The doctors just said, hey, there's with a brace, you know, he's going to have a little bit of mobility issue at times, but there's no, you know, with the brace is so strong, it's probably better than his other knee, to be honest with you. And as long as he feels okay, and you know, then it's up to him if he wants to do it. And so he did a little bit of stuff 5-on-0 non-contact Thursday. He went through about an hour of practice on Friday, and then we talked a little bit more Friday night and then this morning just to confirm that, hey, do you really want to try to do this? And I said, if there's any doubt at all, then don't do it. And you know, he wants to play, and obviously he was a huge factor in the game for our team.
Brad, aside from the obvious scoring punch that you raised and some key steals down the stretch, just as an overall confidence and kind of calming effect, what does Marquise mean when he's in the line?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think the one thing is we're a much older team in South Carolina, and that probably showed at times in the game. And, you know, we're going to go through it next year. Next year when we lose all of our older players, we're going to have freshmen out there playing significant minutes at the end of games, and, you know, we really don't right now. We have senior guards, 5th-year guys. Marquise is just another guy that's been through it all, and so he knows our system. We can make adjustments quickly, and he can, you know, we can tweak something because of the way South Carolina's playing if we need to. And then I think he just gives confidence to the other players. You know, Marquise just plays the game with a lot of poise and very relaxed. And the other thing that he does is because he's such a good player, he draws attention to himself, which creates more open areas for other players, more space to do things for other guys. So obviously it's a huge factor having him back.
Brad, you've talked about not feeling whole at certain parts of the season. Is this as close to whole as you guys have been?
Yeah, I don't think we're still there. I think we're still another 2 weeks away from probably being in a place where we've practiced enough to feel good about our team and what everybody's supposed to do and where we are and timing and rhythm. You know, Marquise really hasn't practiced. He just kind of one day for an hour and then played today. We were, you know, spitballing it a little bit on some things. But I think if we get him back and get him going and feeling good, he still doesn't look like he's moving great. You know, then we'll have a chance to really probably get into a better rhythm and flow and play like we really need to play in the league.
Coach, why has your team been so successful against USC these past 3 years?
Oh, I don't know. You know, it's just we won a couple close games. You know, a couple games ago, obviously the last 2. I mean, our team last year was really, really good. I mean, I think if we don't have Dante, we had Dante Grantham when we played South Carolina. I thought we were a Final Four team. We made the Sweet 16 without him, but our talent level and the way our guys were with experience, last year's team, like we watched the film of last year's game leading into this game, and like we were just really, really good and playing really well. And they were still pretty young. Now this year, I'm fortunate to have a lot of guys back, and Frank's playing You know, he's got 3 freshmen out there a lot, starting 2 or 3 of them. They're playing at the end of games. That's hard to do. You know, so, you know, Frank doesn't need anybody to make excuses for him, but I do think, like, sometimes in coaching, it's, you know, they've played really, really hard these last 2 weeks. And their backs are against the wall, and I know how good a player Justin Minaya is. I know how good a player Kotsar is. That's 2 starters. I just played without one for 3 games, and we're scratching out things, trying to survive. And Mississippi State beat the tar out of us. He's been playing for a better part of a month without really good players. These aren't backup; these are starting players, and I just think that we all need to be mindful of that. Like, injuries are very difficult things to overcome. Their kids are still competing their tails off against 3 hopefully good teams the last 2 weeks.
Brad,
Yep.
the turnovers again, I think you had 20.
Yep.
You concerned about that second
Yeah,
time?
I mean, a little bit, but when you play South Carolina, you're going to have turnovers. And so, like, if you get soft and you get passive and you're afraid to make a turnover, you're not going to make any offensive plays. And so, you know, we go into the game against those guys knowing we're going to throw half a dozen passes in the stands because of the way they play defense. And most of the time I'm get on to the next play. Every once in a while I'm upset about something when it's an older guy that does something we should do better. But you can't go into a game thinking that, I mean, we're just not equipped or good enough to come into this game and we're going to have 6 or 8 turnovers. It's not a normal game. This is a game where you're going to have 15 to 20 turnovers if you're playing aggressively and pushing. And I thought we did that most of the game. I thought we got a little tired in the second half, and we got a little conservative when they started to make their run. But I'd rather my team play aggressive in this game, especially with the way they play, than play passive. Yeah.
Brad, a week away, obviously, until you get into a very tough conference schedule. But what does a win like this against an in-state rival do for you guys from your experience in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shot in the arm. Obviously, you know, you're beating a big, strong, physical, competitive team that's hard to play against, and obviously we're going to see some of those throughout the ACC. So hopefully it gives some confidence to guys that need it. Our older players are pretty good, but our team needed a good, hard-fought road win in a difficult environment, an important game with the other team really ready to compete. And, you know, you need to show that you can do those things if you're going to be successful in our league.
Last question.
You mentioned the adversity with the fouls. What was your message to the team, and how do you coach through that part of the game, especially with all the fouls kind of piling up?
Yeah, you know, we were fortunate that we were playing well enough on offense in the first half that I could keep those guys on the bench. I was really tempted to try to put him back in even with 2 fouls for a couple minutes. Sometimes Eli's, you know, it's hard for him to go sit over there for a long period of time and then have his juice when we need him. But our other guys played so well. And I just walked down there and told Trey Jemison and Javen White and, you know, that you guys are going to get tons of minutes. Like, you know, here early, and we need you to hold the fort till halftime. And Trey Jemison didn't have a basket. I don't even know if he had a rebound, but he is 6'10.5", 260 pounds, and they can't just shove him under the basket and score and get a rebound. He can be physical enough to keep that guy from getting it deep to score and getting a rebound. He may not get it, but he can block his man out. And so you at least take the physicality part of it away. And I thought he did a good job. Javen obviously had a great and one late in the game. That was good to see, and probably came from having some confidence earlier. Thanks, everybody. Have a good holiday.